I am Natasha, your host for today. If you are new here, I would like to tell you that we upload a new English learning video every day on our channel to help you improve your English faster. In today's episode, you will not only improve your English listening skills, but also your speaking skills. In this lesson, we're diving into one of the most exciting topics for every learner: how you can speak English like a native speaker. We will explore the rhythm, the flow, and the natural expressions that make English sound smooth and confident. Whether you're having a casual chat, expressing your ideas, or joining a professional conversation, speaking like a native is a goal many learners dream about. By the end of this video, you'll discover techniques, practice methods, and real-life examples that will help you sound more natural and fluent when you speak. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon if you want more helpful English learning episodes like this. So, relax. Get ready to practice with me, and let's begin our journey to speaking English like a native speaker. When we think about speaking English like a native speaker, the first thing that comes to mind is often the accent. Many learners believe that they have to copy the exact sound of American or British speakers to be considered fluent. But the truth is, sounding native is not only about accent. It is about rhythm, natural expressions, intonation, and the confidence to use English in real-life situations. If you listen carefully to a native speaker, you'll notice that their speech flows like music. Some words are strong, others are soft, and there is a natural rise and fall in their sentences. This rhythm is what makes English sound alive. And the good news is, you can train your ear and your mouth to copy this rhythm step by step. Let's begin with something simple. Imagine you are greeting a friend in the morning. A native speaker would say, "Hey, how's it going?" Notice that they don't always say every word slowly and clearly. Instead, "How is it going?" becomes "How's it goin'?" The is disappears, and the final G in going often softens. This is called connected speech. It's not about being lazy, it's about efficiency and flow. And when you start to practice these small shortcuts, your English will immediately sound more natural. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me slowly first. How is it going? Now try again. A little faster. How's it going? And now one more time, just like a native speaker would say it. How's it going? Do you hear the difference? Do you feel how your mouth relaxes when you connect the words? This small adjustment is one of the secrets to sounding native. Another important part of speaking like a native is intonation. This means how your voice rises and falls while you speak. For example, when a native speaker asks a yes or no question like, "Are you ready?" the pitch of their voice goes up at the end. Try it with me. Are you ready? Now listen to the difference when I make a statement. I am ready. The voice falls naturally at the end. Intonati. On helps listeners know if you are asking a question, making a statement, or showing surprise, even before they understand every word. Let's do a practice exercise. I'll give you 2 sentences, and you repeat them with the correct intonation. First, do you like pizza? Make sure your voice rises at the end. Good. Now second, I like pizza. Let your voice fall gently at the end. Wonderful. With these small details, your English begins to sound more natural and expressive, just like a native speaker. Another common habit of native speakers is the use of contractions. Instead of saying, I am going to the store, most people say, I'm going to the store. Instead of, she is my friend, we say, she's my friend. And instead of, they are not here, we say, they're not here. Or even, they aren't here. Contractions make your English sound smoother and faster, and they are used in almost every casual conversation. Let's practice a few together. Repeat after me. I'm happy. She's late. We're ready. They're coming. Excellent. Now, let's put them in a little conversation. Listen carefully. I'm hungry. Really? I'm not. She's cooking dinner. We're going to eat soon. Do you hear how natural that sounds? This is exactly the way native speakers talk in everyday life. But sounding native is not only about words, it's also about culture and expressions. For example, when someone asks, how are you? Many learners answer with, I am fine, thank you. And while that is correct, it is not how most native speakers respond in casual situations. Instead, they might say, I'm good, thanks. How about you? Or even more casually, I'm doing okay. What about you? Learning these small cultural habits will help you sound more authentic. Let's try a role play. I'll ask you, how are you? And you answer with, I'm good, thanks. How about you? Ready? How are you? Good. Now one more time, even more naturally. I'm good, thanks. How about you? Perfect. Practicing with real-life examples like this is one of the fastest ways to start sounding native. Now, let's talk about the idea of filler words. Native speakers often use little words like well, you know, actually, or like to give themselves time to think while speaking. These words are not always necessary, but they are part of natural conversation. For example, instead of saying, I don't know, a native speaker might say, well, I don't really know, you know, or actually, I'm not sure. These fillers give the conversation a softer, more casual tone. Let's practice a few together. Repeat after me. Well, I think so. Actually, I don't know. You know, it's kind of difficult. Like, it's amazing. Great. Be careful not to use them too much, but when used naturally, they make your English sound more like everyday conversation. Another important step towards speaking like a native is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say, at the same time, like an echo. This exercise helps you train your ear and your mouth to move together. It improves your pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence. For example, you can watch a short clip of a native speaker. Pause after each line and then repeat exactly the same words with the same intonation. Over time, your speech will begin to copy the flow of native English automatically. Let's do a short shadowing practice right now. I'll say a line, and you repeat immediately after me. What are you doing later? Again, what are you doing later? Now try it one more time, but say it faster, just like me. What ya doing later? Excellent. This simple practice will bring your English to a higher level of fluency. Now let's look at another secret of native speakers: reduction. Reduction means shortening or blending words when speaking quickly. For example, Going to becomes gonna. Want to becomes wanna. Give me becomes gimme. These are not formal English, but they are extremely common in daily conversation. If you listen to native speakers, you will hear these reductions all the time. Let's practice them together. Repeat after me. I'm gonna watch a movie. Do you want to come with me? Can you give me a hand? I gotta go now. Did you notice how much smoother the sentences sound? These reductions help you speak faster and more naturally, just like native speakers. Before we close this first part, I want you to do a little self-practice exercise. Think of a simple conversation you might have with a friend, maybe about going out for dinner or talking about your day. Now try to use contractions, reductions, fillers, and natural intonation in that conversation. For example, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" "I'm gonna grab dinner with Sarah." "Oh, really? I want to come too." "Sure, give me a call later." Doesn't that sound so much more natural? The more you practice in this way, the more comfortable you will feel. And step by step, you will notice that your English begins to flow like a native speaker's. Remember, it is not about being perfect. It is about being natural, confident, and comfortable when you speak. When you begin your journey to speak like a native, it is important to understand that it takes both patience and daily practice. No one wakes up one day suddenly sounding fluent. It happens step by step, through repetition, listening, and active use of the language. The more you expose yourself to natural English, the more your brain absorbs not just vocabulary, but also rhythm, emotion, and cultural style. One of the most effective ways to practice is through listening. Listening carefully to native speakers will help you catch the little details in their speech that you might miss in written English. For example, when someone says, "Did you eat yet?" In casual speech, it often sounds like, "Jeet yet?" The words blend together so much that a learner might think it is a completely different phrase. But when you listen carefully, you'll begin to recognize these shortcuts. And once you recognize them, you can start to use them yourself. Let's practice a few examples of blended speech. Repeat after me slowly first. Did you eat yet? Now listen to how a native might say it. Jeet yet? Try saying it with me. Jeet yet? Another example is, what are you doing? Slowly, it sounds very clear, but quickly, it becomes, what you doing? Repeat with me. What you doing? One more example. Don't you know? When spoken fast, it turns into, don't ya know? Try it now. Don't ya know? These little changes are natural in everyday English, and practicing them will help you sound more authentic when you speak. Another step toward native-like fluency is learning natural responses. Many learners spend time memorizing long answers, but native speakers often respond with short, simple phrases that keep the conversation flowing. For instance, if someone asks, "Do you want to grab coffee later?" a native speaker might just say, "Sure, sounds good." Or, "Yeah, why not?" Instead of always giving formal answers, practice these quick, casual responses that make you sound more natural. Let's try a short practice. I'll ask a question, and you respond with a native-style phrase. Do you want to watch a movie tonight? Good. You can say, "Yeah, sounds good." Now another one. "Are you ready to go?" You might answer, "Almost, just a sec." Last one. "Do you like this song?" A natural answer could be, "Yeah, it's pretty good." Excellent. These short responses are part of daily life English, and the more you use them, the more natural you will sound. Pronunciation is also a key part of speaking like a native. It is not necessary to have a perfect American or British accent, but you should focus on clarity and the sounds that are most common in natural English. For example, the th sound in words like think and this is often difficult for learners. But native speakers use it all the time, and mastering it will make your English sound much closer to theirs. Let's practice together. Put your tongue gently between your teeth and blow air out for thi. Repeat after me. Think, thank, 30. Thunder, good. Now practice the softer version of th, where you let your tongue touch your teeth lightly, but use your voice. Repeat after me. This, that, those, these. Excellent. The more you practice these sounds, the more natural your English will become. Now let's focus on stress in English words. English is a stress-timed language, which means that some syllables are longer and stronger than others. For example, in the word banana, the stress is on the second syllable, banana. If you put the stress in the wrong place, it can sound strange, even if your pronunciation of the letters is correct. Let's practice some common words with stress. Repeat after me. Photograph. Now, photographer. Notice how the stress changes when the word becomes longer. Another example. Record as a noun, but record as a verb. Try it. I bought a new record. I want to record a song. Excellent. Paying attention to stress will make your English sound smoother and more like a native speaker's. Now let's move into everyday conversation practice. Imagine you are meeting a friend for lunch. The conversation might go like this. Hey, what's up? Not much, just got here. Cool, did you order yet? Not yet, I was waiting for you. Okay, let's get something to eat. Do you notice how short and natural the sentences are? This is how real conversations happen in daily life. They are not long, perfect textbook sentences. They are quick, friendly, and connected. Practicing dialogues like this will help you build the natural rhythm of English. Let's practice one together. I'll be person A, and you'll be person B. Ready? Hey, what's up? Good. You answer. Not much, just got here. Now I'll say, cool, did you order yet? And you reply, not yet, I was waiting for you. Perfect. One more time, a little faster. This back and forth rhythm is exactly how native speakers communicate. Another useful tip for sounding native is to learn common expressions and idioms. For example, instead of saying, I am very tired, you might say, I'm beat. Instead of saying, it's easy, you can say, it's a piece of cake. Instead of saying, I don't understand, you can say, I don't get it. These small changes make a big difference in how natural your English sounds. Let's do a quick practice with idioms. Repeat after me. I'm beat. It's a piece of cake. I don't get it. I'm all ears. Break a leg. Great. Now let's put them in short sentences. I studied all night. I'm beat. This homework is a piece of cake. Sorry, I don't get it. Can you explain again? I'm all ears. Tell me your idea. You have a test tomorrow? Break a leg. Excellent. The more idioms you learn and practice, the more fluent and natural you will sound in real conversations. Now let's take a moment for another shadowing practice. I'll say a short conversation, and you repeat after me line by line. Ready? Hey, how was your weekend? It was great. I went hiking. Really? That sounds fun. Yeah, it was a piece of cake. Do you see how the idiom fits naturally? Try shadowing the whole dialogue one more time with me, keeping the same rhythm and intonation. Excellent. Finally, for this section, I want you to practice speaking aloud for 1 full minute without stopping. Choose a simple topic, like what you did yesterday or what you plan to do tomorrow. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just focus on speaking smoothly, using contractions, reductions, and maybe even 1 or 2 idioms. The goal is to train your mouth and your mind to keep moving in English, just like a native speaker would. Remember, fluency is not about speaking perfectly. It is about speaking naturally, confidently, and without fear. The more you practice these steps, the more you will start to feel comfortable. And little by little, you will sound more and more like a native speaker. When people talk about speaking like a native, one of the biggest questions that comes up is confidence. Many learners already know enough vocabulary and grammar to express themselves, but they hesitate, pause too much, or second-guess their words. This hesitation makes the conversation sound less natural. Native speakers, even when they make small mistakes, keep speaking confidently and smoothly. That is why confidence is just as important as vocabulary or pronunciation. Let's think about a simple example. If you forget the exact word you want to use, you might stop and freeze. But a native speaker would usually find another way to explain it. For instance, if you can't remember the word umbrella, you might say, "That thing you use when it rains." And the listener will understand you immediately. This is called paraphrasing, and it is one of the most powerful tools for sounding fluent. Let's practice paraphrasing now. I'll give you a situation, and you try to explain it even if you don't know the exact word. Imagine you forget the word calculator. You could say, "It's the small machine we use to add numbers." Another one, maybe you forget the word fridge. You could say, "It's the cold box in the kitchen where we keep food." Do you see how this skill helps you keep the conversation flowing? Paraphrasing is something native speakers do all the time, and it makes you sound confident and natural. Another important factor is using natural timing and pauses. When you listen to native speakers, you'll notice they do not rush through every sentence. They pause naturally after a phrase or when they want to emphasize something. For example, listen to this. "I wanted to tell you that I finally got the job." The pause builds interest and adds natural flow. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. "I wanted to tell you that I finally got the job." Great. Adding small pauses makes your speech easier to follow and more authentic. Now let's move on to another element. Emphasis. Native speakers often stress certain words to show importance. For example, compare these two sentences. I didn't say he stole the money, and I didn't say he stole the money. In the first one, the stress is on I, meaning maybe someone else said it. In the second one, the stress is on stole, meaning maybe he borrowed it instead. The meaning changes depending on which word is emphasized. Let's practice emphasis together. Repeat after me. I never said she was wrong. Now try changing the stress. Say, I never said she was wrong. Now, I never said she was wrong. Finally, I never said she was wrong. Did you feel how the meaning shifted? This is a natural tool that native speakers use without thinking, and now you can use it too. In daily life, small talk is one of the most common ways to practice sounding native. Small talk means short, casual conversations about simple topics like the weather, plans, or how your day is going. Even though these conversations seem small, they are important for building connection. A native speaker might say, "It's really hot today, isn't it?" Or, "Did you catch the game last night?" Practicing small talk will help you sound more natural in everyday situations. Let's try a short small talk role play. I'll start. Hi, how's your day going? You answer, pretty good, thanks. How about you? Now I'll say, not bad, just busy with work. And you reply, yeah, I know the feeling. Great. That's a simple, natural exchange that could happen anywhere, and makes you sound like a native speaker. Another tip is to pay attention to linking words and phrases. Native speakers use these to connect ideas smoothly. Words like so, actually, by the way, anyway, and well help move the conversation along naturally. For example, instead of jumping directly from one idea to another, you might say, by the way, did you hear about the new restaurant? Or, anyway, let's get back to what we were saying. These linking phrases give your English a smoother, more natural flow. Let's practice. Repeat after me. So, what do you think? Actually, I agree with you. By the way, I saw Sarah yesterday. Anyway, let's continue. Well, I'm not sure. Excellent. Try to use at least one linking word in your next English conversation. It will make you sound much closer to a native speaker. Now let's do another shadowing practice. I'll give you a short conversation with linking words, and you repeat with me. Hey, do you want to go out later? Well, I already have plans, but maybe tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. By the way, did you finish the report? Actually, I did. I'll send it tonight. Good. Shadow it one more time, keeping the rhythm and the natural flow. Perfect. Another key part of speaking like a native is pronunciation of connected sounds. In English, words often join together when spoken quickly. For example, instead of want to, we hear wanna. Instead of going to, we hear gonna. Instead of let me, we hear lemme. These connected sounds are part of natural, casual English. Let's practice them again in sentences. Repeat after me. I want to go outside. She's gonna call me later. Let me know if you need help. Gotta go now. See you later. Excellent. These reductions are very common in spoken English, and practicing them will help you blend into real conversations more easily. Now, let's practice fluency with a longer exercise. I'll give you a short daily routine in natural English, and you try to repeat it after me. copying the rhythm and flow. Ready? I'm gonna wake up early tomorrow, grab some coffee, and then head to work. After that, I'm meeting a friend for lunch, and later, I want to watch a movie at home. Try saying it again, smoothly, without stopping. Excellent. Practicing longer sentences like this trains your brain to think in English without translating. Finally, we have a self-practice challenge. Choose one short topic, like my favorite food or my weekend plans, and talk about it for 1 minute. Use contractions, reductions, linking words, and natural intonation. Even if no one is listening, this practice will make your mouth comfortable with the rhythm of English. Over time, you will notice that you sound more and more like a native speaker. Remember, sounding native is not about losing your identity or your accent completely. It is about adding the natural flow, confidence, and rhythm of English to the way you speak. And with consistent practice, you will get closer every day. One of the easiest ways to practice sounding like a native speaker is to focus on everyday conversations that you might actually have in real life. Let's imagine you're at a cafe ordering coffee. A textbook version might sound like this. Hello, I would like to order a coffee, please. Could you give me a small latte with milk? While this is correct, it doesn't sound very natural. A native speaker might simply say, Hi, can I get a small latte, please? Or, Yeah, I'll have a latte, thanks. Notice the difference. The second version is shorter, friendlier, and flows more smoothly. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. Can I get a small latte, please? Now try. I'll have a latte, thanks. Excellent. Practicing these natural phrases will help you in real-life situations, and you'll feel more confident in ordering, shopping, or making small requests. Let's do another example. Imagine you're shopping for clothes. A formal version might be, Excuse me, I want to try this shirt. Can you give me a different size? But a native speaker would likely say, Hi, can I try this in a medium? Or, Do you have this in a larger size? Short, clear, and natural. Repeat after me. Can I try this in a medium? Do you have this in a larger size? Great. Practicing with real situations like shopping or ordering food is one of the best ways to train your English to sound more like a native speaker's. Another important thing to notice about native speakers is that they often use tag questions to keep the conversation soft and friendly. A tag question is when you make a statement and then add a small question at the end, like, Isn't it? Or, Don't you? For example, It's a nice day, isn't it? Or, You like pizza, don't you? These little tags make the conversation more interactive and natural. Let's practice tag questions. Repeat after me. It's cold today, isn't it? You're tired, aren't you? She's your friend, isn't she? They're coming, aren't they? Excellent. Tag questions are easy to learn, but they give your English a friendly conversational tone that feels much more natural. Now let's talk about politeness. Native speakers often use polite expressions in casual ways. For example, instead of just saying, Give me that, which sounds too direct, they say, Could you pass me that? Or, Would you mind helping me? These polite forms make your English softer and friendlier, which is exactly how natives usually speak. Let's practice a few. Repeat after me. Could you help me with this? Would you mind opening the window? Can you pass me the salt? Could I borrow your pen? Wonderful. Adding these polite expressions to your daily English will make you sound not only natural, but also respectful, just like a native speaker. Now, let's do a short role play together. I'll be your friend at dinner, and you practice responding naturally. Ready? Hey, can you pass me the bread? Good. You answer, sure, here you go. Now I'll say, do you want some more water? You answer, yes, please, thanks a lot. Perfect. This is exactly how simple daily conversations sound when you use natural English. Another thing that makes native speakers sound different is the use of phrasal verbs. Instead of using long, formal verbs, natives often use short phrasal verbs like pick up, hang out, run into, or find out. For example, instead of saying, I will meet my friend by accident, a native would say, I ran into my friend. Instead of, I will relax with my family, they might say, I'll hang out with my family. These phrasal verbs are everywhere in spoken English, and learning them will help you sound much closer to a native speaker. Let's practice a few phrasal verbs together. Repeat after me. I'll pick you up at 7. Let's hang out this weekend. I ran into my teacher yesterday. I need to find out what time the movie starts. Excellent. Now let's put them in a short conversation. Hey, can you pick me up later? Sure, what time? Let's hang out after dinner. Sounds good. By the way, I ran into Sarah today. Oh, really? What did you find out? Perfect. These are exactly the kinds of exchanges that make your English sound natural. Now let's take a closer look at listening practice, because listening is directly connected to speaking like a native. The more you listen, the more your brain gets used to the natural flow of English. You can practice by listening to TV shows, movies, podcasts, or even short YouTube clips. Pay attention not just to the words, but to the rhythm, the speed, and the way the speakers connect their sentences. Let's do another shadowing practice now. Repeat immediately after me. What time are you coming over? Again. What time are you coming over? Now faster. What time you coming over? Good. Another one. Do you want to go for a walk? Again. Do you want to go for a walk? Faster. Do you want to go for a walk? Excellent. This kind of shadowing will make your speech sound more authentic. Finally, let's finish this section with a longer fluency practice. I'll give you a paragraph that sounds like everyday native English, and you repeat it after me. Ready? So yesterday, I ran into an old friend downtown. We hadn't seen each other in years, so we decided to grab a coffee. We hung out for about an hour, just catching up on life. It was really nice, and I found out she's moving back to the city. Now repeat it again, smoothly and naturally. Excellent. Practicing longer chunks of speech like this will train your brain to think and sound like a native speaker, step by step. Remember, it's not about memorizing every phrase. It's about building habits, using contractions, reductions, phrasal verbs, tag questions, and polite expressions naturally. Each of these small details adds up, and together, they create the flow of native English. When you hear native speakers talking, you might notice that their English feels casual, relaxed, and sometimes even playful. This is because they don't just use formal words and grammar, they add personality into their speech. They use jokes, little comments, and playful language to make conversations more interesting. If you want to sound like a native speaker, it's important to add some of this natural personality into your English too. For example, instead of saying, "Yes, I agree with you," a native speaker might say, "Yeah, totally." Instead of saying, "I do not know," they might simply say, "I don't know." Or instead of, "That is very funny," they could say, "That's hilarious." These small changes make your English sound alive and real, not like something you memorized from a textbook. Let's practice a few of these casual responses. Repeat after me. Yeah, totally. I don't know. That's hilarious. No way. You gotta be kidding me. Excellent. Now, let's put them into a short conversation. Did you hear what happened yesterday? No way. What happened? Sarah dropped her phone in the pool. You gotta be kidding me. That's hilarious. Yeah, totally. She was so embarrassed. Do you see how this conversation feels casual and fun? That is the style you should practice when aiming to sound more like a native speaker. Another important thing to practice is giving natural reactions. In many cultures, learners respond only with full sentences, but native speakers often use short reactions like, really? Wow. Oh no. That's great. Or, that's too bad. These quick reactions keep the conversation flowing and show emotions naturally. Let's try some reaction practice together. Repeat after me. Really? Wow. Oh no. That's great. That's too bad. Amazing. Excellent. Now imagine I tell you, I just got a new job. You might respond, that's great. If I say, I lost my wallet yesterday, you could say, oh no, that's too bad. And if I say, I saw the funniest movie last night, you could reply, wow, really? That sounds fun. Practicing these natural reactions will help you sound more native in real conversations. Let's shift to another area that native speakers use all the time: storytelling. Native speakers often tell short stories about their day, their experiences, or funny things that happened. When they tell stories, they don't use perfect grammar in every sentence. Instead, they focus on keeping the story moving and interesting. They add small details, emotions, and reactions. Let's practice a simple story together. Listen first. So yesterday I was on the bus, and this little kid started singing really loudly. Everyone looked at him, and he just kept singing like he was on stage. It was hilarious, and it made my whole day. Now, repeat it with me, slowly. So, yesterday I was on the bus, and this little kid started singing really loudly. Everyone looked at him, and he just kept singing like he was on stage. It was hilarious, and it made my whole day. Good. This is the kind of storytelling rhythm that makes your English sound like a native speaker's. Now, let's create a little exercise for you. Think of something funny or interesting that happened to you recently. It could be something small, like spilling your coffee, running into an old friend, or seeing something surprising on the street. Now, practice telling that story in English with simple, short sentences and natural reactions. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on sounding natural and confident. Another tool native speakers use all the time is emphasis with little words like so, really, and super. Instead of saying, I am tired, they might say, I'm so tired. Or instead of, it's hot today, they could say, it's really hot today. These small additions give emotion to your speech and make you sound more natural. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I'm so hungry. It's really cold. That movie was super funny. I'm so excited. Excellent. Now let's use them in a quick conversation. Are you hungry? Yeah, I'm so hungry I could eat anything. Do you like the movie? Yeah, it was super funny. I really enjoyed it. Perfect. These small emphasis words add a lot of life to your English. Now let's talk about rhythm and stress again, but in full sentences. Native speakers don't give equal time to every word. Some words are stressed and some are weak. And for example, listen, I want to go to the store. The stress is on want and store. The words to and the are much softer. This creates the rhythm of English. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I want to go to the store. Now say it again, but make want and store stronger. Excellent. Another one. She needs to finish the report. Stress needs and report. And let the small words fall quietly. Good. This is exactly what makes your English sound like native speech. To practice rhythm even more, let's do a shadowing exercise with a paragraph. Listen. I was walking home from work, and I saw this amazing sunset. The sky was so bright, and the colors were incredible. I stopped for a moment just to look at it, because it was really beautiful. Now, repeat after me slowly, and again, a little faster. Excellent. Shadowing with rhythm will train your voice to copy the natural music of English. Now let's focus on one of the hardest parts of sounding native: casual pronunciation. Native speakers often drop sounds when speaking quickly. For example, want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. Did you becomes du or didya. What do you becomes what'ya. These changes make English fast and smooth. Let's practice them in sentences. Repeat after me. Do you want to come over? I'm going to take a break. Did you see that movie? What do you think about it? Excellent. At first, these might feel strange, but the more you practice, the more natural they will become. Finally, for this section, I want you to practice combining everything we've learned so far: contractions, reductions, rhythm, reactions, and casual expressions. Let's try a role play together. I'll be person A, you'll be person B. Ready? Hey, what you up to? Not much, just hanging out. Cool. Want to grab some coffee? Yeah, sounds good. I'm super thirsty. Great, let's go. By the way, did you hear about Mark? No, what happened? He got a new job in the city. Really? That's awesome. Perfect. That's exactly the flow and energy of a native English conversation. Remember, the key is not perfection. The key is natural rhythm, natural reactions, and the courage to speak without worrying too much about mistakes. Every time you practice in this way, you are one step closer to sounding like a native speaker. When you practice speaking English, one of the most powerful things you can do is build habits of natural phrasing. Instead of always thinking about grammar rules, try to think about how sentences sound in daily life. For example, when you want to agree with someone, instead of carefully saying, "Yes, I also agree with you," a native speaker might simply say, "Yeah, me too." This shorter, natural version is what makes English sound smooth. Let's practice a few examples together. Repeat after me. Yeah, me too. That's right. Exactly. For sure. These are quick responses that help you sound natural and confident, and they are used constantly in everyday English. Another thing that makes a big difference is using the right tone when you speak. Tone is more than just pronunciation. It's the feeling you put into your voice. For example, If you say, "That's amazing," with no energy, it will sound flat. But if you say, "That's amazing," with excitement, it will sound natural and alive. Practicing tone helps you add emotion and life to your English. Let's practice a few phrases with tone. First, say it with excitement. "That's amazing." Now, say this with surprise. "Really?" Next, say this with disappointment. "Oh no." Finally, say this with happiness. "That's great." Excellent. Paying attention to tone is a big step towards sounding like a native speaker, because tone carries meaning even more than words do. Now, let's look at how native speakers often use simple linking words to make sentences feel smoother. These are little words like so, well, actually, and anyway. For example, instead of starting a sentence with no connection, a native speaker might say, "Well, I think we should wait," or "Actually, that's a good idea." These linking words are small but powerful tools to make your English sound more natural. Practice with me. Repeat after me. "Well, I don't know." "So, what do you think?" "Actually, I agree." "Anyway, let's continue." Perfect. Try to add one of these words the next time you speak English. They give your sentences the same flow that native speakers use without even thinking. Another important thing to practice is how native speakers naturally shorten words in casual English. For example, going to becomes gonna, want to becomes wanna, did you becomes didja. These reductions make English faster and more natural. And they happen constantly in real life. Let's practice reductions now. Repeat after me. "I'm gonna call you later." "Do you wanna come?" "Did you hear that?" "I gotta go." Great. At first, it may feel strange to use these forms, but with practice, they will start to sound natural in your own speech. Another step towards speaking like a native is improving rhythm. Rhythm in English means that some words are stressed more than others, and the smaller words are said more quickly. For example, listen to this sentence. "I need to go to the store." The stress is on need and store, while to and the are softer and faster. This rhythm is one of the biggest differences between learners and native speakers. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I need to go to the store. Make need and store strong. And let to the be quick and light. Another one. She wants to finish the book. Stress wants and book. And let to finish the be soft and fast. Excellent. The more you practice this rhythm, the closer your English will sound to a native speaker's. Now let's practice using rhythm with a longer sentence. Repeat after me. Tomorrow I'm gonna meet my friend for lunch, and then I need to get some work done. So. Stress. Tomorrow. Meet. Friend. Lunch. And work. The other words should be softer and faster. Do you hear how it flows? This is the natural rhythm of English. Another feature of native English is the use of phrasal verbs instead of longer, formal words. For example, instead of continue, many speakers say carry on. Instead of discover, they say find out. Instead of encounter, they say run into. These phrasal verbs make speech more natural and relaxed. Let's practice some phrasal verbs. Repeat after me. I need to find out the answer. She ran into an old friend yesterday. Let's carry on with the project. Pick up the phone. Good. These are exactly the kinds of phrases that native speakers use every day. Now let's talk about expressions of agreement and disagreement. Native speakers rarely say just yes or no. They often add small words to make their responses sound more natural. For example, instead of just yes, they might say, yeah, definitely. Or instead of just no, they might say, no, not really. These small additions make your English feel authentic. Practice with me. Repeat after me. Yeah, definitely. For sure. No, not really. I don't think so. Exactly. Excellent. Adding these natural responses into your daily speech will make you sound much more like a native speaker. Now let's move on to reactions. Native speakers often show emotion with quick phrases like, wow, oh my gosh, that's crazy, or seriously. These words don't add much meaning, but they keep conversations alive and natural. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Wow. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Seriously? No way. Perfect. Practicing these reactions will help you respond more naturally in real conversations, and people will feel that your English has more life and emotion. Finally, let's practice putting many of these ideas together in one longer piece of speech. Repeat after me. So, yesterday I was walking to the store and I ran into an old friend. We talked for a while, and it was really great to see her. Actually, I found out she's moving to a new place soon. Wow, that was such a surprise. Excellent. This little story has reductions, phrasal verbs, linking words, and natural reactions. Exactly the elements that make English sound native. Remember, the goal is not to copy perfectly every sound that native speakers make. The goal is to add the rhythm, the flow, and the natural style into your English so that you feel comfortable and confident. With practice, these habits will become automatic, and step by step, your English will sound more like a native speaker's. One of the biggest challenges for learners who want to sound like native speakers is thinking in English instead of translating. Translation slows you down, and it makes your sentences sound less natural. Native speakers don't stop to think of every grammar rule while they speak. They use chunks of language, ready-made phrases, and expressions that come out automatically. For example, instead of building a sentence word by word, they might just say, at the end of the day, or, you know what I mean? Or, long story short. These are chunks, and once you learn them, you can use them without thinking. That is how you build fluency. Let's practice some useful chunks together. Repeat after me. At the end of the day. You know what I mean? Long story short. That makes sense. As far as I know. Excellent. These short chunks will save you time and make your English sound smooth, just like a native speaker's. Another powerful tool for sounding native is mastering common collocations. A collocation is a natural combination of words that usually go together. For example, native speakers say, make a mistake, not do a mistake. They say, strong coffee, not powerful coffee. These natural combinations are part of the rhythm of English. Let's practice some collocations. Repeat after me. Make a decision. Do homework. Catch a cold. Take a shower. Strong coffee. Fast food. Heavy rain. Quick shower. Very good. Using collocations like these will make your English sound instantly more natural. Now let's talk about how natives use intonation to show feelings. For example, when they are surprised, their voice goes up, "Really?" When they are certain, their voice goes down strongly, "Of course." When they are unsure, the voice might stay flat or rise slowly. Maybe. Intonation is like music, and it tells the listener more than words alone. Practice with me. Say with surprise, "Really?" Say with certainty, "Of course." Say with doubt, "Maybe." Say with excitement, "That's amazing." Excellent. The more you practice these changes in intonation, the more expressive and native-like your English will become. Another important point is how natives naturally shorten and smooth out phrases when speaking quickly. For example, instead of "What are you doing?" it becomes "What you doing?" Instead of "Did you eat yet?" it becomes "Jeet yet?" These reductions are not sloppy. They are part of fluent everyday English. Let's practice reductions together. Repeat after me. What you doing? Jeet yet? Gimme a hand. Lemme see. I'm gonna go. Wanna come? Excellent. These are the small details that give you the rhythm of native conversation. Now let's practice with longer sentences using reductions and natural flow. Repeat after me. I'm gonna head out soon, but I'll call you later. Do you want to grab something to eat after work? Let me know if you need any help. I gotta finish this first, then we can talk. Perfect. Practicing with longer sentences will train your brain to use these forms automatically. Another way to sound like a native is to use everyday idiomatic expressions. Idioms are short phrases that carry a meaning different from the individual words. For example, break the ice means to start a conversation in a friendly way. Hit the books means to study hard. Under the weather means feeling sick. These idioms are common in daily English and help you blend into natural conversations. Let's practice some idioms. Repeat after me. Break the ice. Hit the books. Under the weather. Piece of cake. Costs an arm and a leg. Good. Now let's say them in sentences. I told a joke to break the ice at the meeting. I need to hit the books for my exam. She's feeling under the weather today. That test was a piece of cake. This phone costs an arm and a leg. Excellent. These idioms will give your English the color and style that native speakers use all the time. Listening is also a big part of learning to sound native. The more you listen to natural English, the more you'll catch the way words blend, the intonation, and the rhythm. Listening passively is good, but listening actively is even better. Active listening means repeating what you hear, copying the tone, and paying attention to details. Here's a short listening and speaking exercise. I'll say a short paragraph, and you repeat after me, copying the rhythm and intonation. Ready? This morning I woke up late, so I had to rush. I grabbed some coffee, jumped on the bus, and luckily I still made it to work on time. It was a close call. Excellent. Practicing like this every day will train your ears and your mouth at the same time. Another detail that makes a difference is using fillers naturally. Fillers are small words like you know, and like. They don't carry much meanings, yeah, but they give you time to think and make your speech sound more real. For example, instead of saying, I went to the store yesterday, you might say, I went to the store yesterday, and I saw an old friend. It sounds more casual and natural. Practice a few fillers with me. Repeat after me. I'm not sure. Well, it's kind of difficult. It was amazing. Good. Don't overuse fillers, but adding them occasionally will make your English sound more authentic. Finally, let's combine everything we've practiced in this section into one fluent piece of speech. Repeat after me. So, yesterday I was super tired, but I had to hit the books for my exam. I grabbed some coffee, and then I studied for hours. At the end of the day, I felt under the weather, but I think I did okay. Excellent. This little paragraph uses idioms, fillers, emphasis, and reductions, all the elements that make your English sound natural and fluent. Remember, speaking like a native is not about imitating perfectly every sound. It's about building natural habits, using chunks, collocations, rhythm, intonation, reductions, and idioms. The more you practice with these tools, the more confident you'll become, and soon your English will flow smoothly, just like a native speaker's. When you are working towards sounding like a native speaker, one important skill to develop is learning how to keep the conversation flowing. Many learners stop after giving a short answer, but native speakers often add a little extra detail or emotion. For example, if someone asks, "How was your day?" a learner might say, "It was good." That's correct, but it sounds short. A native speaker might say, "It was good, T. Hanks. I was really busy at work, though, so I'm glad to be home now." This extra detail makes the answer sound natural and complete. Let's practice giving extended answers. Repeat after me. It was nice. I spent time with my family. It was busy, but I got a lot done. Pretty good. I just relaxed most of the day. Excellent. Adding one or two more pieces of information makes your English flow more smoothly, and it gives the conversation more life. Another useful feature of native English is how speakers soften their opinions. Instead of saying something too directly, they often use phrases like, I think, maybe, kind of, or sort of. For example, instead of saying, this movie is boring, they might say, I think this movie is kind of boring. Or instead of, you're wrong, they might say, I'm not sure I agree with that. These softening phrases make conversations sound more polite and natural. Let's practice some softening expressions. Repeat after me. I think it's interesting. Maybe we could try that. It's kind of difficult. I'm not sure I agree. Very good. Practicing these will help your English sound more respectful and closer to the way natives speak in daily life. Now, let's focus on another area, fluency in describing daily routines. When native speakers talk about their routines, they use a lot of contractions and reductions that make their speech sound relaxed. For example, instead of, I am going to work, they say, I'm going to work. Instead of, I do not usually eat breakfast, they say, I don't usually eat breakfast. Let's practice describing a simple routine together. Repeat after me. I wake up around 7, then I grab some coffee, and after that, I head to work. I usually take the bus, but sometimes I drive if I'm in a hurry. After work, I like to relax, Maybe watch a show or read a book? Great. These sentences are simple, but they are exactly the way natives describe their daily lives. Another thing to notice about native English is how speakers use exaggeration for emphasis. Instead of just saying, I was tired, a native might say, I was so tired, I could barely move. Or instead of, it was hot, they might say, it was super hot, like an oven outside. These exaggerations are not always literal, but they make conversations sound lively and expressive. Let's practice exaggerations. Repeat after me. I was so hungry, I could eat a horse. It was freezing outside, like an icebox. That test was so easy, it was a piece of cake. I was so tired. I fell asleep the second I sat down. Excellent. Adding exaggerations like these helps your English sound more colorful, just like a native speaker's. Now let's turn to one more area: pronunciation of weak forms. In English, small words like to, of, for, and often become very soft in casual speech. For example, instead of saying, I want to eat, clearly pronouncing every word, a native speaker might say, I wanna eat. Instead of, I'm tired of it, they might say, I'm tired of it, with of sounding almost like uhv. These weak forms are part of the rhythm of English. Practice with me. Repeat after me. I'm tired of it. I'm going to the store. I'm looking for a job. Bread and butter. Did you hear how the small words almost disappear? This is natural English speech, and practicing these weak forms will make your speaking more fluid. Another important part of native-like English is learning how to connect ideas in longer sentences. Instead of speaking in very short, separate sentences, natives often connect them with linking words. For example, instead of saying, I like coffee, I drink it every morning, they might say, I like coffee, and I drink it every morning. Or, I like coffee because it wakes me up. Let's practice connecting sentences. Let's practice some of these short responses. Repeat after me. Yeah, yep, nah, nope, uh-huh, mm-hmm, uh-uh. Excellent. These small sounds and variations are very common in daily life. Using them makes you sound less like a textbook learner and more like a real speaker of English. Another area to practice is how native speakers naturally shorten questions. Instead of saying, do you want to join me for dinner? They might say, wanna join me for dinner? Or instead of, are you going to the party? They might say, you going to the party? These shorter forms are natural and quick, and they happen all the time in real conversations. Practice with me now. Repeat after me. Wanna join me? You going to the party? Need any help? Got a minute? Coming later? Excellent. These quick forms are exactly how native speakers check in or invite someone in casual conversation. Now let's look at something equally important: clarity. While reductions and short forms are natural, natives also know when to slow down and be clear. For example, if someone asks for directions, a native speaker will often slow down to make sure the listener understands. This balance between fast, natural reductions and clear pronunciation is something you should practice. Let's practice with two versions of a sentence. First, the quick casual version. I'm gonna grab some lunch. Wanna come? Now, the clear, careful version. I am going to get some lunch. Do you want to come? Both are correct, but knowing when to use each one is part of sounding natural. Another useful feature of native-like English is how speakers add small details that show emotion or attitude. For example, instead of just saying, "That's good," they might say, "That's pretty good." Or instead of, "That's bad," they might say, "That's really bad." Words like pretty, really, totally, and absolutely add strength and feeling to what you're saying. Practice with me. Repeat after me. That's pretty good. That's really nice. That's totally amazing. That's absolutely true. Excellent. These intensifiers add color to your English and make you sound more like a native speaker. Let's move on to stress again, but this time focusing on contrast. Native speakers often stress one word in a sentence to correct or emphasize something. For example, I said I like tea, not coffee. The stress on tea shows the contrast. Or, he's my brother, not my cousin. The stress on brother changes the meaning. Practice with me. Repeat after me. I said tea, not coffee. He's my brother, not my cousin. I need it today, not tomorrow. We're meeting at 6, not 7. Excellent. Practicing contrastive stress will help you sound sharper and more natural, just like a native speaker. Now let's look at how natives often use casual time expressions. Instead of saying, "I will see you tomorrow," they might say, "See you tomorrow." Or instead of, "I will talk to you later," they say, "Talk to you later." Even shorter, "See ya." These casual time phrases are very common. Repeat after me. See you later. Talk to you soon. Catch you tomorrow. See ya. Later. Perfect. These are quick, natural ways to end conversations, and using them makes your English sound easy and relaxed. Another habit of native speakers is to react to stories with supportive sounds like uh-huh, oh, wow, and These little sounds don't always carry words, but they show you are listening and engaged. Practicing these listening sounds will make your conversations smoother because they show natural interaction. Let's try some now. Repeat after me. Uh-huh. Oh. Wow. Oh, really? Excellent. These are small but very powerful in helping you blend into native-style conversations. Let's practice with a longer piece of natural speech to bring all of these ideas together. Repeat after me. So last weekend I was gonna just stay home, but a friend called me and said, "Hey, wanna hang out?" I wasn't sure at first, but then I thought, why not? We ended up going downtown, grabbed some food, and just walked around. It was really fun, and honestly, I'm glad I went. This kind of paragraph uses reductions, natural time phrases, supportive reactions, and intensifiers, all the elements that make English sound like it belongs to a native speaker. Finally, remember this. Speaking like a native is not about copying everything perfectly. It's about learning the rhythm, the shortcuts, the tone, and the natural responses every time you practice with real-life examples. Every time you repeat these small but powerful expressions, you are training your English to flow. And step by step, you will notice the difference in your own speaking. One of the things that makes native speakers sound so natural is their ability to use short, common phrases that connect emotions to their words. For example, instead of saying, "I am very happy," a native speaker might say, "I'm so glad." Instead of, "That is not possible," they might simply say, "No way." And instead of, "I do not believe you," they might laugh and say, "You're kidding." These short, powerful expressions give English its natural flavor. Let's practice a few of them. Repeat after me. I'm so glad. No way. You're kidding. That's awesome. That's terrible. Excellent. These kinds of phrases are exactly what you hear in casual conversations every day. Now let's focus on how native speakers often make their sentences smoother with linking sounds. For example, when they say, "do it," the two words connect and sound like "do it." Go on sounds like "gowan." Tell him often sounds like "tell him." These little connections are part of why English spoken by natives feels fast and flow. Wing, practice with me now. Repeat after me. Do it. Gowan. Tell him. Get it. Makeim. Good. These are small but important details, and training your mouth to connect words will bring your English closer to native rhythm. Another part of natural English is using emphasis with small words like so, really, and totally. These words are simple, but they carry strong emotion. For example, "I'm tired" is clear, but "I'm so tired" feels stronger. "That's funny" is fine, but "that's really funny" sounds more expressive. Practicing with these emphasis words adds power to your English. Repeat after me. I'm so tired. That's really funny. It's totally amazing. I'm super excited. Excellent. These emphasis words are common in everyday conversations, and they help your speech sound less flat and more alive. Let's turn to another important point. Fluency in storytelling. Native speakers often tell small stories in daily life about their day, about something funny that happened, or about plans they made. These stories are usually simple, but they include natural phrases, reactions, and emotions. Here's an example to practice. Repeat after me. So, yesterday I was on my way to work, and I spilled coffee on my shirt. At first I was annoyed, but then I just laughed because it was kind of funny. Luckily, I had a jacket with me, so I covered it up. Honestly, it wasn't such a big deal. Excellent! This short story has natural flow, emotions, and everyday details, exactly how a native speaker would tell it. Now let's look at expressions for showing agreement or disagreement politely. Instead of saying, "I agree," natives often say, "Yeah, that's true," or "Exactly." Instead of saying, "I disagree," they might soften it with, "I'm not sure about that," or "I don't really think so." These softer responses sound more natural and friendly. Practice with me. Repeat after me. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. I'm not sure about that. I don't really think so. Very good. Using these softer, natural responses will make your English sound smoother in real conversations. Another feature of native English is exaggeration for effect. Instead of just saying, "It was big," a native might say, "It was huge," or "I waited a long time," becomes, "I waited forever." These exaggerations add style and emotion to speech. Repeat after me. It was huge. I waited forever. I was starving. That movie was amazing. Excellent. These expressions help you sound less mechanical and more expressive, like a native speaker. Now let's focus on natural time phrases. Native speakers rarely say, I will meet you at 6 o'clock in the evening. Instead, they say, see you at 6, or catch you later, or talk to you tomorrow. These casual time expressions are used constantly. Practice with me. Repeat after me. See you at 6. Catch you later. Talk to you tomorrow. See you soon. Later. Great. These phrases are short, simple, and perfect for daily life conversations. Another detail to notice is how natives use little fillers and pauses to sound natural. For example, well, I guess we should go now. Or, it's not that hard. Or, like, it was amazing. These fillers are not necessary for meaning, but they give your English the casual rhythm of natural speech. Repeat after me. Well, I guess so. It happens. Like, that was cool? Actually, I'm not sure. Excellent. Using fillers lightly and naturally will bring your English closer to real spoken style. Finally, let's practice with a longer paragraph that combines all these skills: contractions, reductions, linking sounds, exaggerations, fillers, and natural phrases. Repeat after me. So, last night I was super tired, but I decided to watch a movie anyway. Honestly, it was hilarious, and I laughed so much. At the end of the day, I was glad I stayed up, even though I was exhausted this morning. But, it's not such a big deal. I'll catch up on sleep later. This kind of extended practice helps your brain put all the small details together into one natural flow. And the more you repeat, the more automatic these habits will become. Remember, the key is consistency. Speaking like a native is not something that happens overnight. It happens little by little, every time you practice natural phrases, every time you copy the rhythm of English, every time you let yourself speak without fear of mistakes. Over time, these details will shape your English into something smooth, confident, and natural. A big part of sounding like a native speaker is learning how to use common everyday words in flexible ways. Native speakers often use very simple vocabulary, but they combine it in ways that feel natural. For example, instead of always saying very, they use alternatives like really, super, so, or even pretty. So instead of very good, they say really good or pretty good. Instead of very tired, they might say super tired or so tired. These small changes make a big difference in how natural you sound. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Really good. Pretty good. Super tired. So excited. Excellent. Try using these in your daily practice. Instead of always saying very, it will give your English more of the natural feel that native speakers use every day. Another common feature of native English is using casual set phrases that don't follow strict grammar rules, but are understood instantly. For example, no worries means that's okay. My bad means it was my mistake. All good means everything is fine. These short, easy phrases are everywhere in daily conversations. Practice with me. Repeat after me. No worries. My bad. All good. Sounds good. That were, kes. Excellent. These are the kinds of phrases that make you sound relaxed and confident, just like a native speaker. Now let's talk about how natives often shorten and relax greetings. Instead of always saying, "Hello, how are you?" they might say, "Hey, how's it going?" Or even just, "How you doing?" These greetings are friendly, casual, and they are used more often than the formal versions. Practice a few with me. Repeat after me. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? What's up? How have you been? Good to see you. Excellent. These greetings are part of the everyday rhythm of English conversations. Another feature of native English is the way speakers naturally express surprise or emotion with short reactions. Instead of saying a full sentence, they might just say, "Wow," or "Really," or "No way." These small, quick reactions are very powerful in making your English sound natural. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Wow. Really? No way. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Good. Using these quick reactions at the right time makes your English sound alive, and it shows that you are emotionally engaged in the conversation. Now let's focus again on reductions and weak sounds because they are everywhere in native English. For example, did you often becomes didja. Would you becomes woulda. Could you becomes coulda. What are you becomes whatcha. These changes might sound small, but they are part of what makes native English fast and flowing. Practice with me. Repeat after me. Did you hear that? Would you like some tea? Could you help me? What you doing? Excellent. Practicing these will help you understand natives more easily and also speak more naturally yourself. Another thing natives do is use friendly exaggeration. Instead of saying, "It was a little bit difficult," they might say, "It was super hard." Instead of, "I waited for some time," they might say, "I waited forever." These exaggerations are not literal, but they are common in everyday English. Repeat after me. I waited forever. It was super hard. I was starving. That movie was hilarious. The test was a nightmare. Excellent. These expressions add humor and life to your English. Let's now look at how natives use softening phrases to sound polite or less direct. For example, instead of saying, "Give me that," they might say, "Could you pass me that?" Instead of, "I don't like it," they might say, "I'm not really into it." Instead of, "You're wrong," they might say, "I don't think that's right." These softer phrases make English sound polite and natural at the same time. Practice with me. Repeat after me. Could you pass me that? I'm not really into it. I don't think that's right. Would you mind helping me? I guess we'll see. Excellent. These expressions are useful not only for sounding native, but also for sounding respectful in conversations. Now let's practice longer sentences that combine these elements. Repeat after me. Hey, how's it going? I'm so tired today, but the weekend was awesome. We went hiking, and it was super fun. Another one. Did you hear about Sarah? She got a new job downtown. That's awesome, right? And another. Don't worry about it. My bad. Everything's all good now. Excellent. These examples are full of the little details that create native-like English. Finally, let's do a full fluency exercise with rhythm, reductions, fillers, and expressions. Repeat after me. So, yesterday was kind of crazy. I was gonna just relax, but then a friend called me, and I thought, why not? We went out for dinner, and the food was amazing. Honestly, I was starving, so it was perfect. At the end of the day, I was so glad I went. This kind of extended practice is what brings everything together. Contractions, casual phrases, fillers, rhythm, and emotion. The more you practice chunks like this, the more automatic they will become, and the closer ow will sound to a native speaker. Remember, the small details are the secret. It's not only about grammar or vocabulary, it's about rhythm, reductions, reactions, and the natural way people speak. By adding these details into your daily English practice, you will step into the flow of native speakers, and little by little, your English will sound smoother, more confident, and more real. One of the last but most important habits to master, if you want to sound like a native speaker, is comfort with everyday small expressions. These are words or phrases that natives throw into conversations without even thinking, but they give the language a relaxed and natural feeling. For example, instead of always saying, "Thank you very much," many natives simply say, "Thanks a lot," or even just, "Thanks." Instead of, "You're welcome," they might say, "No problem," or "Anytime." Let's practice these short forms together. Repeat after me. Thanks a lot. Thanks. No problem. Anytime. Sure thing. Excellent. Using these quick, natural replies makes your English sound more authentic in daily interactions. Another important part of native English is how often speakers use expressions of uncertainty or thinking words. For example, they say, "well," or "I guess," or "kind of," or "sort of," when they are not completely sure. These words make speech sound more relaxed and realistic because people rarely speak in perfect, complete sentences. All the time. Practice with me. Repeat after me. Well, I guess so. Kind of, yeah. Sort of. I guess that works. Maybe, I'm not sure. Excellent. These expressions help you add a casual tone to your speaking, and they make you sound more natural when you are thinking aloud. Now, let's focus on how natives naturally use little phrases to close conversations smoothly. Instead of ending suddenly, they say things like, "All right, I gotta go," or "catch you later," or "talk soon." These phrases make the ending of a conversation sound friendly and natural. Repeat after me. All right, I gotta go. Catch you later. Talk soon. See you around. Later. Perfect. Practicing these will help you sound relaxed at the end of conversations, just like native speakers. Another important feature of native English is rhythm in longer sentences. Native speakers naturally stretch some words and shorten others, giving their sentences a music-like flow. Let's practice with a longer sentence to feel this rhythm. Repeat after me. I was gonna meet a friend after work, but plans changed, so I just stayed home and watched a movie. Stress, meet, friend, work, plans, stayed, and movie, while letting the smaller words flow quickly. Excellent! This is the rhythm of natural English. Now let's practice another long sentence with natural rhythm. Repeat after me. Tomorrow I'm getting up early, grabbing some coffee, and heading straight to the office because I've got a busy day. Excellent. With practice, this rhythm will start to feel natural to you. Another key to sounding like a native is using little words to show attitude. For example, actually can make your sentence softer or more direct. Basically is used to summarize, honestly adds truth or emotion. Natives use these words all the time. Practice with me. Repeat after me. Actually, I'm not sure. Basically, that's it. Honestly, I was surprised. Seriously, it was amazing. Literally, I couldn't believe it. Excellent. Adding these small attitude words into your English will help you sound more expressive and natural. Now let's practice storytelling again, because it is one of the best ways to bring everything together. Listen carefully. So, last week I decided to try cooking something new. Honestly, it was a total disaster at first. I burned the first batch, and the kitchen was a mess. But then I tried again, and it actually turned out really good. At the end of the day, I was glad I didn't give up. Now repeat after me slowly, and then again a little faster. Great! Stories like this are full of reductions, natural expressions, emotions, and rhythm, all the pieces of native English. Finally, let's focus on confidence, because the truth is, even native speakers make mistakes, hesitate, and use fillers. What makes them sound fluent is that they keep going without worrying too much about being perfect. Fluency is about flow, not perfection. So if you want to sound like a native speaker, the most important step is to practice every day. Stay confident and let English become a natural part of your daily life. Practice a final fluency exercise with me. Repeat after me. I'm not perfect, but I'm improving every day. My English is getting smoother, and I feel more confident each time I practice. I know that if I keep going, I'll sound more and more like a native speaker. Excellent. Saying this to yourself often will remind you that progress is about consistency, not perfection. So, as we wrap up this lesson, remember everything we've practiced together: contractions, reductions, rhythm, fillers, reactions, idioms, and casual expressions. Each small detail brings you closer to sounding like a native speaker. Don't be afraid of mistakes, because mistakes are part of the process. What matters is that you keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep enjoying the journey of learning English. And before we finish, let me give you a gentle reminder. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon so you never miss new English learning episodes. That way, you'll always have fresh practice to improve your fluency, step by step. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, you can speak English like a native speaker. I'll see you in the next lesson.